All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with game one here in this college football 26 dynasty as we have the Utep Miners, which is my team taking on Utah State Aggies. As you can see here, they aren't phenomenal, but they're a lot better than us. Utah State is another team that I actually do like. I did do a dynasty with them last year, an offline dynasty. It was pretty fun. I may want to do something, explore some more with them in the future. Maybe move them over to the Pac-12 or something like that. But I don't know. Something about Utah State. They have nice, crispy uniforms, just the blue and white and everything like that. So I don't know. That's what I think about that. As we see the home team take the field right here, and we are coming out in our all-white unis that I really like. There's pretty much, in my opinion, you can't go wrong with all-white uniforms, no matter what the colors are of your team or whatever. All whites always look crispy. So we will get the ball first here, and Smith is back deep to return it. We'll see if he gets a chance, and he does. And not a whole lot going on there, as he is taken down fairly quickly. And Malachi Nelson, the sophomore, is who is being highlighted here. No surprise there as we get this thing going. Of course, we want to try to open this up with the passing game here. Wide trips to the right. Drop it back. Circles deep. Not sure we can get it there, and we do. And just like that, Malachi Nelson with a 50-yard bomb and a first down to his main man at wide receiver, Thomas. Well, one of his main men. And I was rolling out there because I had the trips to that side. I wasn't expecting anyone to break open deep, but I thought about maybe scrambling. I was going to hit X. But then I seen that he had a step, so I decided to give him a shot there. And obviously that paid off for us. So not exactly how we drew it up, but we absolutely cannot complain. So 1st and 10 here from the 22. Already crossed the 50-yard line here. Dropping back. Nelson's not going to have any time, and he is swallowed up for a 9-yard loss. Pause. So it's swallowed up, bro. Oh my gosh, what I'm talking about right now. And they bring a linebacker blitz. I didn't see it. I'm trying to remember to try and use the backfield juke ability and all that. That's something I'm going to have to try to get used to. I haven't really been able to do anything with it yet. We swing it out here to our running back, and he goes nowhere, losing even more yards here. So started off real well with that 50-yard pass, and now we're just going pretty much as far back as you possibly can, man. So we were past the 50. Now we're still slightly past it here. We'll see if we can get enough time to get this deep ball off here. And Nelson's just going to decide to keep it. And he has a lot of room, and he has the first down. I tried to slide, but he barrels forward for the first down. He's able to pick that 26 yards up all by himself. Can't really complain there about the result. First down. Absolute money right there. Coming back out in a trips wide once again. Gonna see him get in there, and that is complete. It's only 3 yards, but we will take it. All right, here we go. Split back look here on 2nd and 7. Gonna try a screen. It's not really open. He's gonna be brought down for a couple yards on the loss there. I thought maybe we were gonna get lucky and break that tackle, but didn't happen, and we are in a 3rd and 9 situation here. 3rd and 9, coming out with 5 wide here. Nelson dropping back. Running out of time there. I think X was going to break up and I was going to try to step into the pocket, but that didn't really work out. So we will try the field goal here. So far, our field goals have been pretty spotty on this game for me. So we'll see if I can get this one to go through. And we do. So we will take a 3-0 lead. Not really the end we hoped for. A very promising drive. Had 2 huge plays, the 50-yard bomb and the 3rd and 26 conversion. But we'll definitely take the points, especially with a team that isn't, I don't want to say as bad as ours, but a team that isn't as talented as other teams out there. So we'll definitely take the points. We won't complain about that. And Utah State here, you see Miles Davis is their big time playmaker. I also believe, or on offense that is, I also believe they have um, a decent quarterback as well. So could be wrong about that, but we'll see what we can do here. I'll make the adjustments on defense and things like that as we go along. And they hand it off right away, and that is a 5-yard gain. So let's make some adjustments here. Let's see if any of these adjustments make a bit of a difference here. Here we go, 2nd and 5. They're going to bring the guy in motion. Going to hand that one off again. And the running back goes down. That's no gain. And I'm not sure. I don't think that's the starting running back that we mentioned in the opening. I think that's the backup. So maybe the starter is injured. Not quite sure, but either way. And the quarterback's going to take off, and he is able to slide as we try and take his head off. But he's able to get the first down there and keep the drive alive. Little disappointing on my end here. They're going to drop back and swing that one out. And that is actually, was he a receiver? I thought he was a running back. Maybe I seen that wrong. But number 4, nonetheless, for Utah State, reels in that reception, and he is able to get about 7 yards right there. Going to hand it off again. And that is a nice tackle by, I believe that's one of our cornerbacks. Very, very good tackle in open space. And that is going to put them in a 3rd and 1 scenario. So very good tackle, but still in a bit of a dangerous situation here as we come out in the 3-3-5. I believe this might be the first time we've come out in the 3-3-5 today. We undercut him, but he is able to get the first down. That's Javen Jacobs is the name of the ball carrier right now. So I guess I had that wrong. I guess the receiver is their big-time playmaker on offense, not the running back. Unless they have their starting running back plugged in as a slot receiver. You never know nowadays. They try to hand that off, and we're all over it, coming in on a run blitz and getting him for a backfield tackle is Schufelt, Schufelt. And I'll try to, I'm going to definitely learn these names and stuff like that as we go along. Nice screen pass there. Should have expected that. They pick up 10. Kind of catch me off guard. Excuse me. But I'm going to definitely learn these names as we go along, especially the guys that are making like big time plays and stuff like that. 3rd and 4. Can we finally get them off the field here? The answer is no. So we need to make some more adjustments here on our flats. I mean, I thought I had us in. good spot, but maybe not. We'll see. All right, here we go. Once again, 1st and 10 for the Utes as they continue to move the ball very, very well. They throw that one out there. We're there. I can't make the tackle. I was in good position, but they do pick up 6 yards. A little disappointed. I was in really good position. But I'm sure as soon as as this series goes along, I'll probably make those plays in the future. They complete that one over the middle, and the pass catcher is number 4. Um, Still not sure what his name is yet, but that is yet another first down. We really have to tighten up right here if we want to get a stop. Gonna fake it and throw it, and that is a touchdown on the RPO to the aforementioned number 4 right there. That's Davis. So yeah, that's the dude I mentioned earlier. So let's put that to bed right now and see what position he actually is. Yeah, he's a running back. So they have a good duo of running backs, and he's actually the best receiver as well. So it makes a lot of sense why they keep splitting them out wide. That's good coaching right there if I've ever seen it. A good eye that coach has, getting that dude out there at wide receiver. And after a fairly long drive, they are able to pick up a touchdown as our defense didn't. I don't want to say we didn't offer much resistance because we got them in 3rd down several times, but we're going to have to make those 3rd down stops. As we have some room here, shedding a tackle, going to finally go down. I will say these returns are tough on here, but I have had a couple solid ones, so there's some hope there. It's one of my favorite things about football is kick and punt returns. So let's see what Utep comes out and does here. They're going to hand it off to begin this drive. I probably should have kept that outside. I tried to cut it up, but we only pick up 1 yard with Hassan Wilson, whom we're looking forward to being a very, very valuable asset to this offense, and we'll try to get him going as this game goes along. As you take a look at the first quarter stats right there, um, yeah, so not too much of a difference here, but we've already established that we can throw the ball against these guys. So we'll try to see what else we can do on them here. This time we got the wider splits out there. Duos to the left, going to bring a man in motion. I'm going to actually hand that off to our wide receiver, and he's not getting anything on that. It was a creative play, but ultimately it amounted to next to nothing. All right, it's 3rd and 9. We'd really like to convert here. We have a trio of receivers to the right. Very, very wide split out there to the left. Drop it back here to throw. And we had a man, but we airmail it. That throw would have had to be not perfect, but it would have had to be a really good throw in order to get it in there. He wasn't really open, but we tried to throw him open on that. It doesn't work out. And we go 3-and-out. So, yeah, definitely not what we wanted here. Let's see if we can get this defense working in our favor. They're going to flip that out. Big hit by number 0, but that is a 7-yard gain. As we came out in a little bit of 3-4 right there. They're going to swing that one out on the RPO. And I believe that's the tight end with a lot of space. We're able to get him down, but not before he picks up an absolutely huge gain. And their quarterback, Bryson Barnes, who's only like a 71 overall, is carving us up right now. So I don't know. It looks like that's what we might have to look forward to this season. Because if a guy of this caliber's carving us up, then imagine what other people can do. As the running back that time picks up another first down, and we are not offering much as far as defense right now. Drop it back again. Another wide open man. It's the tight end once again. He's already at 100 yards. So, again, tells you a lot, doesn't it? Not sure why in the world he was absolutely wide open either, but again, it's just something we have to look out for and we have to try to adjust. That time we do get in for the sack, and that is a big time sack there, I believe. It was something I wanted to check as well. Now that I think about it, I had set my depth chart, but I wanted the two edge rushers with the quick jump to start. And yeah, sure enough, we didn't have it like that. So, but I believe that was our defensive tackle, KD Johnson, who actually got in there on the sack. Um, and in this defense, running a 3-3-5, you can expect that more from the interior defensive linemen because they are more pass rush savvy than if you're running like four down linemen. A lot of times they're more run stuffers and stuff like that. But in these types of defenses, you need them to be a little bit more versatile than that. So, not surprised that he's getting a sack there. And hopefully, we see more of that as this game goes along and as the season goes along. This time dropping back, and there's nothing there. Once again, KD Johnson, back-to-back sacks, proving my point right there. And that is exactly what we needed on this defense right now to step up. 2 sacks for KD Johnson, off to a phenomenal start this season so far. And I haven't really adjusted. Like, I actually forgot before this game, but I haven't really adjusted any, well, not even at all. I haven't adjusted any sliders. They squeaked that one in. They're going to take a 7 point lead. I mean, yeah, 7 point lead. Um, I haven't messed with any of the sliders yet. So um, there are some sliders that I do want to kind of mess around with, but um, I'm playing on the straight slider set on how it was. I definitely just playing like online, playing stuff like that. There's already stuff that I had know that I want to adjust. So going into our first gameplay with excuse me, Kent State, we will make some adjustments in that one. Malachi Nelson, I did intend to fake that. I thought it was a triple option look, maybe not. Either way, nets nothing. So here we go on the 2nd and 12 as we lose 2 yards. So they're playing loose coverage or running double bubbles here. We should be able to get something. Swing it out. We get the 2 yards back. I maybe could have been a little bit more patient on that, but we get back to the line of scrimmage. I'm not going to complain too much. But we are in dire need to convert this 3rd and 10 here. Trips to the right. Malachi Nelson gonna flip that one in there, and he's able to get that complete. I got a little bit nervous when I released that. After I released it, I really regretted it. But it does turn out to be a first down. So Malachi Nelson squeezing that peel in there, man. That was an absolute dot right there. All right, here we go. Drop it back, Cade. Malachi Nelson again. He's going to hit his receiver wide open. Is our main man Cam Thomas. His 3rd reception of the day. Another first down. So as much as I do want to get that run game clicking, right now the pass game is working. So I really don't want to get away from it. And these trips looks have been phenomenal for us so far. As we hit our tight end, he throws a stiff arm in the face of number 1, and he is able to pick up about 8 yards right there. And we get to the 2 minute, 2 minute time out, I should say. Second and 2. Let's see what we draw up here. Another trips. Look, I promise I'm not doing this on purpose. We're going to hand this one off. We're going to power forward. They're going to say we didn't get the first down. I call cap on that. That definitely should have been a first down, but it is what it is. We will try to run this one on 3rd and inches, which I'm sure they're expecting. Gonna hand this one off, and we actually got a little bit of space before we go down, and that is a nice first down. Starting to try to get that run game going a little bit here. Now we have 4 wide here, and the wide splits. Gonna bring a guy in motion. Looks like it's man-to-man coverage. Gonna hand this one off. We have a little bit of space here. Gonna find a gap. More than a little bit of space. Gonna dive into the end zone. And that is 6 points. So we talked about not getting the run game going. And now it is starting to go as we are within one here. Hassan Wilson, who showed some burst there, man. When he hit that gap, he started running a little bit faster than I was expecting. Number one, the cornerback out there, he looked good, got a lot of swag, got a lot of drip, but he took an absolutely horrible angle, and we're able to shred it apart and get that touchdown. So Hassan Wilson is definitely going to be a pivotal part in this offense. We really want to work him into the screen game, the passing game. We got a lot of sets where we line them up wide and stuff like that. But that was an excellent run here, and we tie the game up. Here we go, kicking it off here. They are not going to return it. They are going to kneel it in the end zone. They have a minute 19 to work with here, which is plenty of time for their offense, actually, because they moved the ball pretty darn well against us. Here we go. They're going to run it. We are able to stop them. But Xavier Smith, our star safety, is hurt on that play. And you absolutely hate to see it. And we're hoping we can get him back shortly. We'll see what the diagnosis is here soon. But it looks like Green is going to replace him. Here we go. They're going to hand it off again. That's going absolutely nowhere. He is wrapped up by the ankles by number 8, which I'm not sure what his name is right at this time. They're going to try to go downfield. I accidentally hit the pause button, and they're going to complete that. It just, I accidentally hit start trying to switch to that. And that's another thing I'm kind of debating on, like switching on the players and stuff, because I've started to notice a lot, like switching on, that you don't, like, I haven't been able to make a lot of plays when I switch on. I haven't been able to get the interceptions. I haven't, like, 9 times out of 10, they've been making those catches every single time. I just had someone make a catch in, like, double coverage on me here in an earlier game. So it's kind of like just one of those things where they put it up, and if we just hit him while he's in the air, he probably doesn't come down with that one. But nonetheless, just like I said, I knew that with a minute left, it's, in this game, it's more like 2 minutes left anyway in comparison to a real life game. But I knew that that was way too much time for them. We do get pressure on him, but he stands in there. Meaning, when your guy's that wide open for whatever reason, then it's not hard to hit him. He's wide open. I'm pretty sure I could have completed that pass. So it is what it is. Let's see if we can make something happen with the 45 seconds that we have here, but we also don't want to try to press it too hard, but we're definitely going to try and go down and get some points. We don't really have much to lose. Here we go. We have the left return set up. Not really a whole lot going there. let's see what we can do here. Here we go. Running back to the left, trips to the right. I wanted to go deeper downfield, but we're going to take the open man here, and we're going to just call the timeout. I already know they're not just going to give us anything deep, so we're going to kind of have to figure that one out here. This time, even though it's trips again, they're all to the left. We're going to see in Hassan in motion here. Safety stayed at home or corner. I thought he would bite a little bit on the end cut, but he doesn't. So that's incomplete. It could have been worse. When I let it go, I kind of thought maybe that would be intercepted, but we live to fight another day here. All right, this time we come out at 4 wide here. I'll drop back to throw. Have a wide open running back in a flex. He's able to get the first down. Trips to the right once more. Wide splits. Gonna roll that way, rolling. We do have a guy open. We kind of throw it behind him, but he is able to cut up field, and that is a huge gain. With 8 seconds left, we're gonna hurry it up and get back to the line here. Dropping back to throw. We barely get that one off, and we have 1 second to try a field goal here. Pressure was breathing absolutely down our neck there. But we do get it off, and we live to try the field goal. Like I said, I haven't been as good at field goals so far. We'll see if we can squeeze that one in, and we do. So Utah State will go into halftime up 17-13. So just to get my thoughts on that first half, excuse me, as you take a look at the stats there, um, I really like what I'm seeing from the offense, man. We're moving the ball. We have had luck on our side a little bit because there's a couple of times I could have threw a pick. Um, Look at the quarterback step up in the pocket right there, though. You want to talk about realism right there. That's something that I can't do on this game or in real life. So, pocket awareness, pocket presence, whatever you want to call it, I just don't have it. But with that being said, offense has been moving the ball very, very well. We've been able to throw the ball very, very well. Um, the run game opened up there at the end. I want to run it a little bit more here in the second half. And we can do that as long as our defense, which is my next point, can step up. We have stepped up a little bit. You know, we did get a stop. We held them to a field goal. Well, not a stop. We held them to a field goal. So hopefully we can get more of that. As you see, Smith has come back at the safety spot, so that's big time as well. Oh, and I thought we got an interception right there. We splattered the offensive pass catcher there, but I thought it was going to be an interception. Either way, we'll take it. So we're running on all cylinders here as Smith, freshly back into the game, makes that stop, and we have a chance to stop them on 3rd and 11. We haven't got a true stop yet. Haven't got a true stop yet. I don't want to get too pretty, but I don't want to let them be too comfortable either. So we are going to bring just a light blitz, a little light blitz, nothing major. We're going to hand it off, and we swarm to the ball carrier, and he is taken down. They try to draw a play. It does not work out for him. And we are going to force a punt for the first time in this game. Looks like Sprague is their punter. He gets it off. We have a lot of blockers here. That doesn't last long, of course. And we go down. That's another thing about, these games. The blocking on kick and punt returns is never very good, right? You don't want it to be overpowered, but right there we had a nice wall set up, and one guy ran by like four people. So here we go. We're gonna hand it off to start it here, and we're able to get about 4 yards. Nice solid gain to begin the drive here. I want to see if we can get this screen game going here, man. That's another pretty vital part of this offense. We haven't really tried much of it yet. Gonna swing it out there, and it's not there. And of course, they're gonna have the guy playing tight right over the. They got the guy playing tight right over the center. I mean, right over the guy who was catching the screen. All right, let's see what we can get going here on 3rd and 9. We definitely don't want to punt this right back to him. Once again, in that trip. I guess I just like trips. We're going to get rid of that. Didn't really have too much time to throw. This offensive line is struggling on 3rd down right now. We've been lucky to get a lot of those, even get them off and not take sacks because the blocking has been pretty much non existent, which is probably something I will adjust a little bit in the sliders, which is something I already expected. I already knew. I played some guys where, they have free rushers on my quarterback. I played a guy who was playing with Texas, which I don't really do online play a lot, but I do it with friends, and I'll also do it when the game first comes out to get a feel for the game and gameplay and stuff like that. And they had a guy who, no matter what I did, he was unblockable, man. Unblockable. Eating my quarterback alive on every play. It's like that a lot of times on here, too. So, especially on 3rd downs. So, here we go. Another 3rd down here. And they have a 1st and 10. So, we're trying to build off of the momentum here on defense. That time, it doesn't quite work out. They're coming out with their own trips. Look, they're going to swing it out, and that's not really going anywhere. We will take that all day long. I think he wanted to hit the tight end, but I was all over that like butter on toast. So, wasn't really much he could do about that. All right, we're going to try a blitz. I think they're going to try a run here. Here we go. They actually do, but with the quarterback on an RPO look, it looked like they could also try to throw it, but I was standing in the passing lane. So I'm actually happy with that. Dude looked like he was running through mud right there. Like I seen him run faster than that earlier, so I don't really know what's up with that, but we'll take it. Can we get a stop on 3rd and 4? They swing it out. He gets upfield, and they're going to say he gets just enough for that 1st down. I kind of had a feeling they'd swing it out there. I wasn't fast enough to make it out there. Kind of had to cover two guys. You know how that goes. They're going to hand this one off. That is a good run for 8 yards. We've been doing a pretty good job stopping that run. So, it's kind of, we gave up one there. We don't want to give up too much more of those. They hand it off here. We're all over at that time. And Elijah Baldwin has hurt himself on that play. I'm not sure. I think he might be one of our uh, linebackers, but he's hurt on the play. Or no, maybe he's one of our defensive ends. Hopefully he's okay, because we really don't want to lose any of these starters, especially for a long period of time. We're going to hand this one off. Nice move. And that is a 1st down as we continue to struggle. As we continue to struggle to get that stop that we need on 3rd down, man. We'll get them in these 3rd down situations. And, yeah. Here we go. Throw it out to the flats. We're there and we stop it. But that is a gain of about 6 yards on the play. Let's see what we can do here on the 2nd and 4 situation. We do have a run blitz on. They only get 2 yards. I didn't even expect them to get that, but it is what it is. I definitely think they're going to. I feel like they're going to try an RPO here. So, I don't know. They're in an I formation. Oh, crap. They pitch it out here, and they have a running lane. I was trying to audible. Smith makes the tackle after a huge gain. I was trying to audible. Somehow I got into the defensive menu. I don't know what the hell happened on that, but they kind of get lucky right there. I couldn't audible, couldn't do what I was trying to do, and they get a huge gain off of it. Quarterback read, that's not going nowhere, son. That's not going nowhere. 16 on 16 crime, which is weird to say. 16 is a weird number. I don't think I know anybody in real life that ever rocked 16, but shout out to my number 16, whom I believe is Russell, making that big time play right there. Here we go. Dropping back. RPO. That one's dropped. It was a high throw. You got 6 there. Dress hanging out the helmet. I think didn't we just talk about that? Somebody said Dress didn't hang out the helmet. I'm pretty sure I seen a video like that. And I've seen several players with Dress hanging out the helmet. I thought that was a thing last year. Let me know if I'm tripping. But he's looking swagged up out there, but he dropping passes, so if you're gonna be dropping passes, it don't matter how you look. And we get the sack that time, and that's number 94. As will his name definitely will be revealed here in a second. As we take a look at the replay, that's Deshaun Keaton, right edge defender, coming in and getting his first sack today, and I believe that's our 3rd sack total. So I'm not too mad about that aspect of our defense. The pass coverage has been pretty lackluster for the most part. The run defense has been pretty good too. So I already knew. I don't think I talked about it, but I came in thinking our biggest weakness on defense was our secondary. So um, Utah State seems to be proving me right at the moment. So we are down by a touchdown here late in the 3rd quarter. We're going to have a chance with Smith on the return. Didn't block number 6 at all. We talked about him earlier. I said he looked swagged up, but not really. His dress looked cool, but in all honesty, he's just wearing gloves. So ain't nothing special going on there, I guess. All right. Let's see what we can do here. We got a split look. Gonna try an option. Nelson pitches that out there to Hassan Wilson. He has a lot of space to work with. He is bumped out of bounds by number 1, who is swagged up on the defense, but not before we pick up a huge first down that time. As you see here on the replay, Malachi Nelson gets that pitch out there, and there's just nobody home to get in Hassan Smith's way. Or Hassan Wilson, I'm sorry. All right, here we go. Another different look here. Going to bring the H back in motion here. Hand off to Hassan, and he does not go anywhere that time. So an eye for an eye here. Let's see if we can cook something up in the air this time. 2nd and 10. Another trips look, but they're out wide. I think this is the first time we've ran this look. Have our H-backer tight end open there. We're going to pick up 5 yards, and we may just let this one run out into the 4th quarter here. As I see a play that I think I want to give a try here as we open up the 4th quarter. So here we are down by a touchdown. It's been a pretty good game. Despite the qualms I've had about my defense, I mean, we've only given up 20 points so far. So, I can't be too mad about that. So we are going to open up this fourth quarter with the ball. And I didn't end up going with the play I originally seen, but I seen another one that I kind of like better. So let's see what we can do here. Dropping back. We have we have time. X would have been open, but I got a little bit impatient, and if you notice there, they kind of got stuck. Like he was the running back was clearing. Well, X was trying to clear the running back. The running back was going up on the seam, and X was trying to clear him. I seen them coming down on the running back, and X seemed like he was going to get open, but they all got jumbled up right there, and he was never able to break free. So that's that, I guess. As they try and throw across the middle for the first time, we were running a two-man, two deep man coverage over the top, man underneath, and it worked. I mean, they had some guys open, but the results speak for themselves. All right, here we go. Dropping back on what looked to be an RPO, which I continue to struggle with. That is a gain of 8. We have a shot to get them off the field for like the 40th time today on the third down. 3rd and 2. We'll see what they cook up here. I believe it's going to be like an RPO type of deal. I jump all over it over here, but we're not all over it to the right side of the field. So they did. They had an RPO look. It looked like they had a run option with like either bubbles or swing passes. He wanted to hit number 4. I jumped on it. He wound up hitting his other running back on the other side, and we still had a chance to make a tackle and get the stop, and just didn't do it. All right, here we go. Drop it back to throw once again. We're in his face, and that time number 6 makes the reception for the first down. That's Demick? Demick? Demick Starling? Heck of a name right there, man. Unique name. And that time they hit Smith out there in the open field. He gets about 7 yards as they continue to move the ball on us here. See what we can get going here. Can we get home with the pressure? Absolutely. That's 2-1. And when you're wearing a primetime number like that, that was a number that I've rocked at some point in football. Legendary number, primetime Deion Sanders. 2-1 is forever legendary. Got friends that rock that number. Got to make plays if you're rocking that number. I'm on it. That's my fault. Damn it, that's my fault. I could not steer my defender back. And I was just kind of indecisive. I'm going to be honest. I was in perfect position. I know what they're doing. I'm reading it real well. I'm just not making the plays. Once again, they wanted to swing. It wasn't there. They end up going downfield. And for some reason, that was wide open. I don't really get why, especially because I had us in the right package to stop it. So kind of confused why that was so wide open. I just think he kind of had too much time there. Bringing a man in motion here. They're going to hand it off. We're all over that. I was in a run blitz, and it paid off that time. Cole Gustafson, or Gustafson, has been injured. We are going to keep him in, though. Sorry about that, Cole. I got to keep you in, man. Your backup just ain't going to cut it. Let's see what we can do here. We had a blitz on, but you wouldn't know it based on what just happened. It didn't look like nobody blitzed. I don't know what the heck was going on right there. Coming out in the 5 wide, I'm not going to switch it. I think they're going to try like a draw. So, up, pop pass. Ah! Man, I was in the perfect defense once again. And I can't say it's not the coaching. We're putting them in positions to make plays. We're putting them in the right spot. The players just are not making the plays. So, I mean, it's kind of what you would expect, right? With the type of players we have. No offense to the athletes out there. They're all D1 athletes. I would have definitely played at Utep if I was given the chance. But at the same time, the caliber of athletes, you can only do so much as a coach to get them in position, but your players have to make the plays. And we are in the right spots. We just aren't making the plays. All right, here we go. Under center for the first time is Malachi Nelson bringing a man in motion. Haven't done much on offense, but we're going to do a lot right here. Here we go. Turning it upfield. We are able to get a big game by Cam Thomas, who goes over the century mark today with 107 yards. So a fine start to the season for this wide receiver. This time, another 2-by-2 look here. One running back in the backfield. We are able to complete that one for 4 yards. And we have got to get this thing going because time is running out here. Trips to the right this time. Malachi Nelson dropping back. Has one-on-one coverage downfield. Is going to take the shot. Can't complete it. I was a little bit pressed there. I started to feel the pressure breathing down my neck. I did see the one-on-one coverage decide to take the shot. Nothing wrong with that in my book as we send the man in motion here. We're going to roll out. Nelson's going to keep it. Nice move. Gets out of bounds. That is a first down. We're going to try strong flood. This is old reliable here. Was a staple in my very first air assault version offense that I made. And I don't know what we're doing right there. Wide open receiver. Can't bring it in. And yeah, that is crazy. Let's go back and look at that. Was it the throw or was it the receiver? Nelson dropped back, standing in the pocket. Wasn't the best looking throw. It was pretty low. I still feel like that has to be caught, however, but I'll put it more on the quarterback as we get a wide open receiver to make up for it here. That is a first down. Look at the detail, man. Look at the sweat on the arms. Detail in this game is crazy. And the way people just keep shorting on this game, man, saying it's not good since college football 25, man, these dudes are out of their damn minds. And I know it's more to it than just the details and stuff like that, but even when they say the gameplay isn't good, it's just like, bro, like you dudes must be Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder combined right now, bro, because y'all on some straight BS. Here we go. Drop it back to throw. Find an open target. Incomplete. Wasn't the best looking pass. I can't really be mad about the drop there. We wanted to hit the running back there, and it was like a red zone scissor play. But the defense kind of came and played on it at the last second. So it is what it is. Trips to the right. Wide splits here. And we are sacked and we fumbled the football. And that's probably all she wrote. I was hesitant, man. That was a lot of that was on me that time. I was hesitant to pull the trigger. I really didn't see. My guy was gonna be X. He had like an option route. I just didn't pull the trigger on it. I would have rather pulled the trigger and thrown an interception than to take that sack right there. Now there's probably no chance we win this game here. um, after that. So, gonna be a pretty disappointing end to the game for us here. There are a lot of silver linings, but they drop back to throw actually, just kind of crazy. We'll take our first time out here. They hit that tight end. That tight end has been a monster today. Um, Dude has completed 25 or 28 passes, bro. That's insane. Bryson Barnes. I said, dude, put some respect on Bryson Barnes, man. He carving us up like a jack-o'-lantern. Put some respect on Bryson Barnes. We make the open field tackle right there. We're not going to spend a timeout. I probably should have went with the pump block here, but we'll try and see if we can get a big return with Odom. Gonna take it to the left, has a little bit of room, and I'm not mad at that return there as we get it downfield a bit. See if we can get a quick touchdown and maybe recover an onside kick here. That's what we're looking at here, 2-by-2 look. Not a whole lot going on. Malachi Nelson is going to take off with it. Doesn't get too much. And we are back here. We're going to go under center again. Probably not the best thing to do right now. And it's play action, which I didn't realize, but we're going to get it off to our running back. He has a lot of room to work. It's Hassan Wilson. Hassan Wilson cuts it back inside, and that is a first down. Nice play right there, getting it to the running back. We are going to go with the hurry up. 60 go, which again is another staple from the run and shoot offense that I somewhat based this offense off of. Rolling out Malachi Nelson, and he's able to complete it to the open man. That is first and goal. Nice completion there. We're not going to win this game, but you can't be too mad about a throw and catch like that. Split look this time. Two running backs in the backfield, two wide receivers to the right. Gonna drop back. We have a guy clearing. He pulls it in. We're gonna call a timeout. We have to get in the end zone right here. We have one timeout left. Let's see what we can do. We're gonna spread it out. Once again, that favorite trips look here. Malachi Nelson on the keeper, and he walks into the end zone for 6 points. Hit the quad. Hit the quad. That might be my favorite one right now this season, man. I love that they put that in here. But that is a consolation score. We're not going to win the game, but there's a lot of good done by this offense here today. And we will choose to go for two here. Going to spread them out again. A little bit of a different look with the five wide set, three to the right here. Malachi Nelson dropping back. Tries to fire that in. I really didn't know who I wanted to hit. I had a chance at X and I had a chance at square, and I kind of hit them both at the same time. Believe it or not, that is possible. And I haven't mastered the onside kick yet, man. Like, I recovered a few last year on college football 25, but yeah, that's yeah. I don't know. If anybody got any tips, let me know, because I sure don't know what the hell I'm doing when it comes to these onsides, since they're just gonna kneel this one here. They're gonna take the dub. Just to give my thoughts on what happened here today. I mean, 27-19, I'm not that mad about it. Um, in my little trial dynasty before 89% completion is crazy. But that just goes to show you right there. Our secondary is toast, man. Our secondary is burnt toast. Our secondary is lunch meat. Our secondary is somebody's breakfast. They just eating us up, carving us up, doing what they want, having their way with us like a schoolgirl on a Saturday. A high school girl, that is. So don't come from me. Senior. With that being said, you got when you look at the total offense, I mean, 339 to 351. We had more rush yards than them. If we could have just looked, the third down conversions were 73%. They were 11 for 15. We could not stop them from converting on those third downs, and that was the biggest part. I think our run defense did very, very well. Um, let's go kind of look at the stats here. Since we're on the subject of defense, we'll start there. But I think our run defense played real well, and we had 3 sacks. Um, they're showing Utah State for some reason. Let's try this again. All right, here we go. So we had 3 sacks and about 15 TFLs. So that side of things, our front seven, they look solid. They look like they can compete and maybe win us a conference championship. But other than that, man, the secondary, man, was next to non-existent aside from Smith, and he really was only able, he's one guy. He can't cover the whole field. I really didn't see too much other players. There's a couple solid open field tackles, but if we can't get nobody off the field on third down, what are we doing? And then with the blocking, it says we only gave up 1 sack, so I guess the rest of the sacks were my fault. I'll look at the passing stats in a moment. But look, Cam Thomas, man, 6 grabs, 115 yards. Kenny Odom, 3 for 67. And Jaden Smith had 3 for 39. Um, Wanda Mae Davis. It's a heck of a name. I like that, Wanda Mae. That sounds like some anime stuff, Wanda Mae. He got the only score of the game, so that's what's missing up here. We got the grabs. We just need to get in the end zone, right? Um, and then Hassan Wilson had 62 yards on only 8 carries, so he made the most, 7.7 average. He made the most out of that. Malachi Nelson, despite being sacked a few times, still managed to have a positive game on the ground, which I think is stupid. I think it's stupid to take away from pure rushes, like a quarterback that's purely running the ball, like an option, quarterback keeper, that type of thing. I think it's stupid to take away from that with sacks to make that a net negative. That's because half the time that's not the quarterback's fault. So we didn't do bad. 150.3 rating, 20 for 28, 263, 71% completion rate. The only problem is here, right? We're not throwing touchdowns. But I could have sworn, did Malachi Nelson not throw a touchdown? I thought we had a receiver with a touchdown. I'm tripping. We didn't have a receiver with a touchdown. I don't know what I was looking at. I don't know what I was looking at. I was looking at the raw stat line. So that's what we got to clean up. We know we got to clean up on defense. On offense, we need to get it in the end zone through the air. I really don't care how we get it in there, but when you have passing stat line like that and you don't get it in there for at least one touchdown, what are we doing? With that being said, that will do it for today. Nice start to the season. A lot of stuff we can build on. But I'll see you guys next time for the first game in the Kent State side of things. So until then, y'all have a good night.